So I had those people coming and say, I just saw this lady, she fell from the ladder and she's claiming that she hurt her uncle and she's away now and I need you to follow her because I think she's going to try to sue us. So before I receive any lawyers, letters and everything, he's already putting me on the job. So we follow her and we see she was working perfectly without, any injury. The next day she was working perfectly, but she had a Band-Aid in the ankle, like here, right there. And the third day she was going to the lawyer. And we had a video of her going to the lawyer, getting out. So we knew already which lawyer she was going. And then she was working around the mall and, we got her walking for more than 30 minutes, photos, videos, without any injury.
How much money do you think you saved that client?
Oof.
Approximately. Just give me a ballpark.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. That we can explain corporate and business owner, CEO, how universal investigation can help them day by day with corporate investigation. And it's not only corporate investigation. So I'm going to go over of every services that we can offer to companies. And I'm going to go down the list. That's a 360-degree, information that we're going to do on the first episode right now. And then down the road, we're going to provide you with different episodes. And each episode is going to have a very specific specialty services.
I mean, that's very important and very useful because when I think as a protege about corporate private investigation, I got a bunch of stuff that it covers a range of things. And so I want our audience, to walk through, I want you to walk those 2 episodes of number of things that cover corporate investigation.
Of course. So we're going to start one of the most important, frequency. It's very frequent that corporate company reach out to us when they got, they have a fraud. They have a employee fraud, embezzlement, so it's a little too late. The crime happens. Sometimes, those things can be prevented in advance. They can be proactive. So, for example, I'm going to talk about employee fraud, embezzlement. It's everywhere. Employee screening, it's also something that you need to do before you hiring an employee, not after that you find out he stole money from you, okay? So we do employee screening. We do as well executive screening, which is a little bit more deeper because those executives, you give them some key positions, like it could be financial management or even secret corporate, that you want to make sure you're putting all those information to the right person in the right hands, okay? Then we have also something that's very important to do, I believe, it's employee monitoring. And this is a new technology. It just came out like a year and a half ago. It's employee monitoring via AI technology. So I'm going to be a little more detail on this title because there is different way to do it. Now there is, with technology, there is software that can be used. And actually, when you set up your company, your corporate, you get ready to provide your employee corporate devices, which mean computer, laptop, desktop, and cell phone.
So especially with the remote
Yes,
job
remote job,
trends.
and even, job that they have to come to the office. You don't want anybody using their own personal devices inside your business. It can be anything. Like they can be taking photos for secret, corporate secret, anything like
Espionage.
espionage, and send it back to somebody. Okay. And if they don't have their own devices, they have the business corporate devices. This is something you can monitor with VPN. Okay. Then they don't use, they don't go to specific website that can put in danger your entire cybersecurity. Okay. And also you can monitor what they do, where they send, how many emails they send. You can monitor who's they calling, who's they texting. There's a lot of stuff that you can control. That's not you spying on your employee, but you want to control your business. And for that, you have to do it first with your employees to make sure they're not doing something stupid. Okay.
A lot of people are not. They're not going to be happy about the in a way privacy invasion. But if you sign up to work for
Yeah,
somebody,
it's not privacy
okay,
invasion because it's corporate. Whatever they do there is not private. It's for the business. They are getting paid, for delivering a job, not to do and go on Facebook and TikTok and all those things. You understand? That's that. A lot of companies, you have the employee there all day on TikTok, and you're paying 8 hours, and maybe they're working 3 hours, 4 hours. Actually, we're going through right now with Dodge, with Elon Musk and his team, and that's done inside the government. And this is the money of the taxpayer. And this is something that it's real, it's right there, and we have the proof. Keep in mind, it happens in a private environment. It happens in a private company. So you want to make sure that doesn't affect the rentability of your business. So now we have AI technology. There is AI software that being installed inside the computer, okay, and that monitor the productivity of your employee. And you have AI camera as well. Look, you have security camera, then you add the AI technology, and then you own a coffee shop, okay, or a restaurant or a factory, okay. Then this camera are monitoring your employee productivity. For example, you have a coffee shop, and then is monitoring. You have two employees behind the bar of the coffee shop. They're making coffees, and then you realize that one of them is productive, is making 20 coffees in 10 minutes, okay? And then the other one is making only 3 coffee in 10 minutes. They have the same job, the same position, and something is wrong here. And this is productive for me. I mean, I believe. That doesn't mean you have to fire that employee, but you maybe find out that that employee is struggling with the training. Maybe he need more time. Maybe he's using the wrong way to make a coffee. Maybe you need to teach him how to do it faster and better. Okay. So it's pretty good. So we have access now at this technology. Then, so employee monitoring, it could be anything. It could be also company vehicle asset. You have a fleet, you have a salesperson, you have a transportation company, you providing them with corporate vehicle. You have the right to monitor your asset. So each vehicle is equipped of a GPS tracking devices. It can be a transportation company, transporter and all the stuff like
but
that.
how you as a private investigator fix the trend of, I mean, a lot of drivers know how to track these GPSs and they somehow disable or throw it away. What do you do as a
Well,
private?
like if, for example, it's usually it's part of a crime. For example, you're driving a vehicle, you have your sales reps driving the vehicle around. Okay. So you want to know more or less if he really is going to work and if he's doing whatever he need to be done. Now you have a delivery company, and then all of a sudden you have a complaint of a client say, hey, I never received my delivery. So you go back and you see where your delivery driver were, and if he really wasn't there, it's something you can see day by day. We can help you to set up this system. Now you have a trucking company, fleet. They have already those big GPS device in the back of the truck, and they have a trailer and they have the truck. So a lot of time they stole the truck or they stole the trailer. Okay, could be a trailer, and the trailer has a GPS also. They go in the back, they remove the GPS, and they throw it in the street, and your trailer disappear with all the merchandise. Okay, so there is other way to monitor. You can leave this big one that everybody knows where it is, and then you can install additional small devices, tracking device, connected permanently on the battery system. And there is many, I'm not going to tell you where to hide it because I don't want to tell people what to do. And, they can use it to commit crime. But you can hide additional tracking device. When they find one, they're maybe not going to look for the second one. And we're going to tell you where to put it, places that they're not going to look like, There's so many things. Those devices are not expensive. It's like $10 a device, $20 a device. You can put as much as you want, okay? And then you can monitor that. If one doesn't work, the other one works. And if they remove one, they find two, you can put another one. I mean, I know it's a little bit excessive, but trust me, during my experience, my work, we were investigating stolen trucks with a lot of expensive merchandise. I saw so many things. So you never, it's never too much. Trust me.
Especially with pharmaceutical transportation, which is so critical because you're transporting medicines.
Of course.
Okay.
And this is expensive goods, and maybe it can be anything. So this is something that we can help you to set up. It's part of a complete package deal that we can give you. We can assist you all year long. You're dealing with one company to protect your business for many, many, many ways. We're going to go one by one. There is approximately over 20 services that we can provide for corporate.
Under corporate investigation?
Of course. It's a lot of stuff. We're going to go one by one. Right now, we are monitoring all the vehicles, which is totally legal because this is your property. You have the right to monitor your vehicle, and your employee knows there is a GPS. So it's not something you're doing sneaky, okay? There's nothing sneaky there. And then you have computer and cell phone VPN security monitoring. So we can help you to keep all your information internally to the company. Like every employees are going to use your own devices. So everything stay here. Nothing goes outside. Okay. That's help for industrial espionage. Okay.
And also it helps the companies to be protected for malware.
Oh, of course, malware, and everybody can go on the specific site, and then you can find out that they're hacking. You've been hacked, and that's it. And they're gonna ask you mentions and stuff. I mean, it's very common. Okay, today.
That's very important because we always say, and there's a lot of corporations that they are investing so much money in firewallings and routers and things that they are protecting the outside. But we agree that the actual threat sometimes starts with the actual endpoint.
Actually, 80% of the threat are created by inside employee. It's the reality. Okay. So another way you need to protect and you need to screen your employees. Okay. Minimize the risk of contamination, the risk of fraud. And there is many subjects. It could be espionage industrial, it could be violence at work, it could be harassment, sexual harassment, all those things you can provide it if you screen your employees. I mean, it's not going to be 100%. You always have the exception, but it's minimizing the risk and to have problem and incident in your business, okay? And as an owner of a company, you are also responsible to protect your employees against those things.
So what I'm understanding is that what you offering corporations is a organic,
Security.
holistic security solution.
It's organic security, which means it's a chain, like, it's a chain. So if any of the chain, the link of the chain are broken, it's a point of weakness. Okay. So you're opening doors to a threat. So if you keep the organic security functioning, you are protected.
So at the very beginning, when you run a background check on this potential future employee and you discover something for this corporation, what's going to happen is that you're already giving the tools to the corporation to decide not to take a threat in the future.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
All right, because there is patterns of behavior. If somebody
Absolutely.
has a pattern of behavior in the past,
Of course.
and you're already helping this organization to protect the actual future of the organization by not taking it.
Yes. For example, when you're hiring somebody, you have a HR process. We do a background check and we find out that the candidate has been arrested for domestic violence. Okay. The resistance of law enforcement, doing, violence, crime outside of his activity. This is a red flag. Okay. And you can see that down the road, people have anger management. And this is not something that you want to bring inside your company because, it's a risk.
I'm going to ask a question that is going to put you on the spot here. 1 second. So how is people, do they deserve a second chance? How does the background check? What is the line where?
Okay. The thing is, yes, there's always second chance. People change, they get better. Look, for example, discrimination. It's not because somebody went to prison that's a bad person. He used to, but he paid for his crime, and it's over 5 years. Maybe he had a chance to get better. Okay, and they say you have to give that to people. This is America. Everybody make mistakes. Okay, some make mistakes that stay on your record, and that they have to deal with that. But now, if I did a background check like 20 years ago. The guy was arrested for domestic violence. So, but it was 20 years ago. You understand? And between 20 years ago and now, nothing happens. It's okay.
I see what you're saying.
It could be. Now, 20 years ago, the guy was 18, 19, and he got arrested for possession of marijuana. So at that time, it was a crime. But today, there is medical marijuana. Everybody can, in Florida, they can have a medical cards and smoke marijuana. It's not a crime anymore. You understand?
Right.
But this happened 20 years ago. Now, this guy got arrested in 2020 for domestic violence. He got arrested in 2021 for possession of cocaine. He got arrested in 2022 for battery. He got arrested in 2023 for domestic violence resistance at the law enforcement. He got arrested for another domestic violence. Like in 4 or 5 years, every year he got something going on. Yeah, there is anger management, there is a drug addiction, there is some stuff going on. So to me, I will tell you, don't hire that person.
So basically, you are helping the owner of the business to look at a pattern.
Yes.
The pattern.
Yes. Now, if you want to hire that person, you're going to go through a lot of problems. He's going to come back and he's going to take those problems inside your company. And that's something you don't want to have. So that's something that, you have to be very aware. And that's come from employee screening. Okay. It's the first step when you have employees. So now we also do computer and cell phone data recovery, which is good. We have a forensic labs that recover deleted device, deleted files, anything that has been removed from the computer that has been hid because that person committed embezzlement and fraud, and those things are going to be recovered and can be used in court later. Okay, so that's something, a service that we are offering. Now we protect companies against espionage, industrial espionage. That's very important because we know how those people get access to your secrets.
Well, we talk about the North Korean lady that was actually
Absolutely.
working as a spy.
Yeah. And that's a red flag because she was an executive. She got a very important key position in the company, and then she was stealing secrets. Okay, but this thing will never happen if you have the organic security chain around the company. Okay, she might pass 1, 2, but not 3, not 4. You understand? And that's what you need to put that in place. Well, of course, those services are not for a small business with 2, 3 employees and things like that. This is for middle-sized company and over. Okay, you have to have this kind of security because, first of all, you have a lot of interest of other people interested in what you're doing because you're very successful. Okay, and you're producing a lot of business.
And you have to protect the castle.
Of course. Then also another part that we can help you, it's a breach of contract. For example, you have non-disclosure agreement. You have non-compete agreement with your employees. And a lot of people are, breaching those contracts. They leave your company and they go work for the competition and they start taking all your clientele. Okay? So this is something that you need to protect, and we can help you with this.
This is important because a lot of people, in the recent years, there has been a trend of a lot of LLCs that have been opened in the state of Florida and other states. And people go and they create NDAs and NCAs to other people, and they trust their intellectual property to them. They are breached. And then now they go to a lawyer, to an attorney, is going to charge huge amount of money for them to uncover the truth.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that as a private investigator, you offer a way
to investigate,
to investigate and create a case for this
lawyer,
small business owners that need help.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
That is going to save a lot of money on lawyer's fee because we're going to investigate a person, create the case, build the case, and we're going to give everything to the lawyer. Lawyer can go to court, file a motion. So it's already like a winning case, almost ready to go. Okay. And we have to act fast in this kind of cases because those people are sneaky. They are going to watch around them. So faster we go, better it is because we can get them by surprise. Okay. Before they realize that they have to be careful. They have to be careful. Okay. That's important. And I had cases that the lady was suing my client. He has a construction company. They have like 1,100 employees and they're all doing drywall, plumbing, or anything. A lot of accidents happen during construction. They have worker compensation, all those insurance claims and this and that. And you pay insurance according of all the claim that you have. Okay, more claim you have, more money you're going to spend on insurance. And they can sue the company civilly as well to get a settlement. So I had those people coming and say, I just saw this lady, she fell from the ladder and she's claiming that she hurt her ankle and she's away now and I need you to follow her because I think she's going to try to sue us. So before I receive any lawyers, letters and everything, he's already putting me on the job. So we follow her and we see she was working perfectly without, any injury. The next day she was working perfectly, but she had a Band-Aid in the ankle, like here, right there. And the third day she was going to the lawyer. And we had a video of her going to a lawyer, getting out. So we knew already which lawyer she was going to be. And then she was working around the mall and, we got her walking for more than 30 minutes, photos, videos. without any injury. Like you can see that she was not injured.
Was she working with the bandage?
Yes, she was working with a bandage.
So she was working normally with the
Normally
bandage.
with a bandage. So it was not really a serious injury, because if you work in the street with a bandage, then you know, like claiming, like working like you hurt. Then if you hurt, you don't work for 30 minutes shopping in the mall. You stay home. You try to get some rest. And all the time, and now we were following her for days like that. And then they went to, they received another letter from the lawyer. I mean, they received a letter from the lawyer and this and that. And then she's claiming she has her foot injury and her neck injury now. That's more, okay? They went to mediation. The lawyers were trying to settle some money, because, they tried to settle before to go to trial. And then what happened? My client opened my investigation report with photos, videos, and everything, and then he talked to the lawyers and the claimant lawyer, and they say, hey, we did an investigation. We have proved that she's not really injured, because we have her working for hours in the mall without any injury, like physical injury. And are you sure you guys want to go? Because we're not going to settle. We're going to go to trial. And insurance fraud, it's a crime. So it's up to you what you want to do. But we're ready to go to trial. I don't think that the court is going to avoid our discovery. What happened? The lawyer, the claimant, dropped her, because they are personal injury lawyer. They're getting money on contingency, which means they get a certain percentage of what kind of the money that they can recover on the claim. So no lawyer is going to work for nothing. Okay. Obviously, the case is done. He's not guaranteed to win. He's not going to win, and he's going to have to spend a lot of time and money. So he dropped her, and the case dropped. So he saved my client a lot of money, a lot of headache.
How much money do you think you saved that client?
Oof,
Approximately. Just give me a ballpark.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds.
Because you discovered and uncovered the truth.
Maybe sometimes millions. It depends. It depends on the things. I mean, everything's crazy,
So those cases that you hear about cars finding and backing up to cause an accident to other drivers, just so that they can claim that they have an injury in the neck or something. Is that something that you also investigate?
Personal injury, yes, we investigate all personal injury everywhere, because they are faking, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are really injured, but that's fine. I mean, it's okay. But most of the time, they are injured. They're putting a collar, and getting like a crutch to pretend, and then you see them the next day going to the gym and lifting weights. Or I had a lady, she was moving furniture, and she was pretending that her back was completely injured. So, all those things that I always say, when something happens to you with an employee or somebody trying to sue you for personal injury, don't waste time. Call us, put us on the case as soon as possible.
And this is very important, because I'm reading most of your comments, and some of you are asking about this specifically. There are groups out there that they are basically working.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's a business. They're working together, and they cause accidents on purpose so that they can claim to the insurance, and they can sue the driver or the other bystander.
Absolutely. So this is one how we can help corporate companies. It's one of the right way to do it. Okay, so now also client and a new partner due diligence. So sometimes a company has been going to make a big company, they want to do a big deal with the client, or they want to get a new partner, an investors coming to the company, investing money, bringing knowledge. Due diligence is important, because first, if you bring money, you want to make sure this is not laundering money. So you need to do a due diligence. Secondly, a corporate company you want to deal and invest money with a new client. Okay, long-term business. You want to make sure that's a real client. You want to make sure that's not a fake company. You want to make sure that it's not a scam. Okay, so this is something that you need to do. Now, we have done private investigation. We have done due diligence for financial institution or private lender for candidate that they are screening. Like, I mean, they are lending a lot of money to this guy. They want to make sure he's not a drug addict, a gambler, and things like that. So we do this kind of deep due diligence. Then now you have a retail fraud investigation. So a lot of retail, big chain, big client, doesn't matter. I mean, retail, it's subject of fraud, okay? Stolen merchandise, crime organized. They can have preparing an inside job to steal the truck with I don't know how much millions or $100,000 of merchandise that can be stolen. Okay, so we are investigating those crimes. We also help you to prepare to avoid those kind of crime. Okay, so that's retail fraud. Then you have restaurant and clubs fraud investigation. So a lot of clubs and restaurants are subject to fraud by their employees. They are stealing money from them, from the register. They mix, you're selling alcohol, so they're voiding all the cash transaction, that those cash transactions transform in tips when there's cash. So they are mixing alcohol with water to make sure that to keep count on the inventory of alcohol. They're bringing, for example, you have a bottle of whiskey and you bring the same brand with you that you buy at any store liquor, and liquor store. So you bring that and you can refill, you can mix, you can serve alcohol from your own inventory and get the money. I mean, it's crazy. I have bookkeeper, mixing numbers to steal money. I have people stealing food from the kitchen. When I say it's a lot of money, because if you have a restaurant, a steakhouse, they have like huge porterhouse steaks, dry age. It's a lot of money. Those steaks.
Yeah, sure.
They have an employee stealing lobster, steaks, alcohol, anything. Okay, so this is something we help restaurant businesses.
Let me ask you this: with your AI innovation technology that you use
Yes.
with these tracking systems,
That's the best.
is there a place in these corporations that you won't be able to track, or is something that you?
Yes. For example, if you use the camera AI technology, you can really have your AI software program and, for detection of stealing, like people, employees stealing. They monitor everything and they're going to send you a red flag. Hey, this guy did that. Hey, this guy did that. So this is the best thing to do. Okay. The only thing where you're not going to be able to monitor, it's in bathrooms and things like that, a private place that you can't put camera. But that's where they take the stuff and they hide it there. Okay. But if you can catch them taking before and going there, I mean, you already have a case right there. So AI technology can help you with that. AI technology can help you also to see if somebody had a concealed firearm. Employees.
That's very important.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite subjects because, as you know, there is this case, this FedEx case that happens in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, you have it already.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that. This is something different. So that's very important. Now we're going to talk about tenant screening for landlord and real estate investors. Because same thing, we can help you to make sure you're putting the right tenant in your investment property. It's very important. You want to protect your asset. Then you have crisis management for active shooting at workplace, work violence. We're going to talk about the FedEx. You just mentioned FedEx. So we had a FedEx active shooting in 2021 in Indianapolis. This is one of them. I mean, there is so many. So the guy got fired or something like that. They came back and he shot. He was a 19 years old and he unalived 8 co-worker. Okay. So in that case, specific that case, 9 people, 9 persons, 9 people were end alive. Okay. And that's pretty bad. That thing can be, again, this kid, he was 19 years old and he had apparently some mental issue. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that you need to go when you do like hiring with HR. There is a lot of tests.
Let me ask you a question there. Is there a recommendation to rerun background checks on somebody who is already employee?
Yes, of course.
Because you're talking about this guy who lied nine, nine, 8 people in the process of him being hired. So probably, let's say they didn't find anything on his background check that was alarming.
And he was young. He was 19. So
There you
19
go.
years old, there's not much.
And then the years pass by, and then your recommendation is that these corporations could have already, if they see something weird or something that is repetitive of this employee, that is alarming for the health of everybody else, they can hire you, run a background check, and see if something new pop on this guy.
Look, I had corporate company calling me because they say, oh, something weird about one of my employees. I like to, uh, can you follow him? Because something is wrong with him, I believe. Okay. Well, and we do, we follow and we see what's going on. And then we find out that this guy was using drugs. Okay. Um, so that's a red flag. Okay.
And that's legal.
And yeah, it's totally legal to follow that person. I mean, we do that. We are licensed and insured for private investigation. So there's nothing wrong with that. Then you can decide what you want to do with this person later on. You can, decide to, thanks him and for his work and then say bye-bye. It's up to you. Okay. Before any incident happen. I mean, big company, they have so many employees, so it's hard to do that. But for example, this guy came back with a gun. Okay. So if you have a big company and you have, you know, um, you can you can you can screen for guns. Okay, you can screen like no employee is supposed to come and bring a firearm inside the FedEx warehouse, for example. You can have equipment, you can have camera, special camera that can detect firearm, and this is a red flag. Boom, you call the police, you call 911, active shooting, and they come and or you can prevent something to protect your employee and hide somewhere.
This is very interesting, and I have to step out on this because after shootings, a lot of companies and the discovery of the investigation, they find out that the subject was giving clues, either by posting stuff on social media
Yeah.
or either by behavior, but abnormal behavior at work. Or then after the fact, after the unfortunate incident,
Yes.
they found out. So I think that what you're saying here is that you can help corporations to use tools of this holistic framework of security that you offer to investigate
Yeah.
on the process and prevent a unfortunate
Yeah.
incident at
For
the end.
example, you can find a lot of red flags. So you can find a like employee complaining about this guy behavior. If you have few employees already complaining about him, that's a red flag. Then his social media post. If you can see that this guy all of a sudden is starting to post
Hatreds, messages.
messages, hatred, like uh, any firearm, like too much firearm. I mean, it's fine. People like guns, it's collectible and whatever they like with gun, but you gotta post, you got a Facebook or Instagram, and you see like the guy every day is posting like a firearm, gun, machine guns, and all stuff. Like, okay, all right. He's not a police officer. He's not in the military. Something is off. Okay, to me, it's my personal view. Okay, So there's a lot of red flag. A lot of things that some people are losing temper, like they're getting aggressive all of a sudden. Okay. And it's not happening one time, it's happening many times, creating problem with other employees, fighting, having violence,
Bitterness, depression.
depression. So all the stuff are red flag. And it's difficult because sometimes everybody is looking at their own problem, so they don't look around, and that's the things. But like a manager can see that. If you have a staff manager, he knows his team. He works with them every day. Okay. So if you see those kind of change, you can advise HR, the direction, the management, CEO and executive, say, hey, something is wrong. I don't feel comfortable with this guy anymore. Something is up. So that they can call us after and we can start to do an investigation. We're going to check his social media. We're going to check everything. Okay. And then we're going to figure out what's going on. And if there is a probable cause of danger, we advise the owner of the company.
And it's preventable.
And sometimes we can find also like things that they're doing criminally. If he's posting that all of a sudden, I'm going to end live all the team that I did, and he posts that on it, that's a problem. We can call the police directly, and that's a threat. Then you can get indicted.
Got it.
That's very important.
Awesome. I mean, this is. Can we go over this list in 1 hour? Because
I think we're gonna have to have like another episode. But I'm going down the road right now, and then we have insurance fraud again. It could be any insurance fraud. We went through this. Healthcare fraud. Healthcare, it's a huge problem. I work with a company that they are like they're doing I used to work for doing an investigation for a dentist cabinet dental operation, and one of the manager of the dental was doing medical fraud. Okay, and that's a problem. So we find out a lot of stuff about that, and we work the case, and he got fired, and then he was sued. Okay. Now also what we do a lot in corporate company businesses, it's a bug sweep investigation. So we have specific equipment, very expensive equipment to detect camera and microphone and other technology. So we sweep offices, people, and this threat can come from competition or most of the time from an employee who is going to your office, putting a listening device and listening what you say. Okay, it could be in your vehicle, it could be in your office, it can be in the meeting room. So we do that screening. Okay, we have also we can help you with a corporate reputation damage, which means that somebody is trying to damage your company, and that can be done through social media, reviews, unfair reviews, and etc. So we help you with that. Then we also have cybercrime and cyber security protection. That's another complex department that we can provide for you and your company. Okay, that involves a yearly contract to protect and update your system and make sure that nobody can hack from the inside or the outside of your company.
Can you run penetration testings for being proactive and then keep these companies protected?
Absolutely, we do that. That's the first thing we do, actually. And then we assess the vulnerability of the company, the system of the company, and then we bring up a solution. Or it's not one-shot solution because it's technology, and every day there's new things, new virus, new system, new attack. So we update the system constantly, and we protect the organization to protect their company from any hacker. Like I say, it can be done from the inside or the outside.
So this cybersecurity and identity fraud is sort of like a concierge service that you offer for companies to advise them and give them the protection to in the guidelines.
The guideline. Actually, guideline, because there's a lot of steps that employee make mistakes, and that open door for this kind of fraud. And they let hacker coming in sometimes. They don't even know. They got scammed, okay? Or sometimes they know because they're getting money.
Got it.
It's not like being paranoid, but when you have a company who's very successful and making a lot of money and doing a lot of business, you have to understand that you're going to make jealous people. And you can have competition, and it's a lot of stuff. Then also one point that we can help you, and that's a huge subject that we're gonna create a special episode for that later on. But I'm just gonna go over a few things.
Sure.
It's a counterfeit investigation and brand protection, trademark, okay, intellectual property. So we have a full department to help company to protect their brands. And this is not only to protect their brand physically, it's also online. There is a lot of fake. Today, the number one source of fake goods, it can be anything. It's from China, okay? Everything, as soon as you're getting successful, you have a brand, your brand is successful, it's recognized, it's going to be copied from China, from other country, anywhere.
It's going to be copied because companies are outsourcing the intellectual property to China, to the Chinese.
Because there is, as soon as there is demand on one of your products, you're going to be copied. So you need to protect your brand first. Okay, so I work with lawyers. They're doing intellectual property protection. So you do all the trademark, you do all the protection of your goods. But that doesn't stop there. I did work for multi-million dollars company. It could be anything. We goes from cosmetic, perfume, electronic cigarette, tools, anything. Motorcycle
Clothing.
part, clothing, motorcycle part, vehicle part. As soon as you have a brand, there is a market. So they're gonna fake everything, and it can like compromise your business big time. Because look, for example, you have a tool company and they do a very
Specialize.
any like a like a like a like a drill, very very powerful drill that you use that can be dangerous because that can hurt somebody. And I have same thing like automobile part like brake. You have a brand of specific brake that's been installed on vehicle, and then you have a counterfeit, and they sell the same brand, but it's not the same. It look the same. It has the same name, but it's not as performant that it should be. And then the brake get on fire, and the car explodes because when you brake at very fast speed, that creating a special energy. I worked a case like that, and those brake were fake, so they were getting on fire, hitting so hard that the front tires were getting on fire, and the entire car was burning, and people get killed. So that's very dangerous. So, and those people get sued. They sue the company, and then they find out after an investigation that those parts were fake clones. They were not really made by them. So, counterfeit trademark, it's a very important investigation that you have to be on top of that. Okay.
For corporations and for the safety of the country as well, because there is a lot of parts that are being questioned by.
Absolutely. I spoke of that one time. It's a vape company. Those vape are made with battery liquid, and they get on fire because the liquid is leaking, and then the house get on fire. People get unalive, and lawsuit arrive, and crime, and this and that. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. And those companies are pretty good. I mean, they're making a lot of sales every year, every month. So it's very successful products. There is a lot of demand, though there is a lot of copy. That's how it works. Now you have Chanel, Louis Vuitton, all those companies. they have this problem every day, everywhere, all over the world. Okay.
I mean, no counterfeit is applaud and good, but my concern is the electronics of cards and the medicines.
Of course,
It is
medicine, Botox. I had a case with Botox. It was fake Botox, and you know, we exposed the crime, and the FDA investigate because I was working in collaboration with them, and they investigate the case, and they find out that I was right, and this person was selling, and she was a nurse and everything, and she was selling counterfeit Botox, and it can be dangerous because it doesn't have the same medical effect. It can be very dangerous. You can unalive people without knowing, just because you want to make money and you're greedy, and then you destroy the people. Okay, so
Yep.
that's why it's very important to, when you have a brand, learn how to protect your brand. We can help you with that. Now we have special software that will search the entire web to see fake goods sell online. Okay, we go by different price. For example, you have a vape, retail is $20 and they sell it for $8 online. Obviously, there is a problem there. So that's a red flag that our software is, communicating with us and say, hey, there's a red flag here. Check it out. Then we check the company, we trace the website, we know who on the website, and we check, and we send an undercover agent to see what kind of goods they have, if it's real or fake. Okay, and it takes time.
It takes time. Does it most?
Yeah,
How long does it take? I mean, it depends.
it depends, but we work, like I say, we do a yearly contract with those companies,
Okay.
and we don't charge them by the hours. We just
A year
doing
contract.
fixing the problem when the problem occurs.
Awesome.
Okay. Then another one, we have this case. I like to talk about it. I think it's one of the last subject. It's executive protection for CEO and corporate executive.
And that's what I was waiting. That was the one that I was waiting for, because I have a special case and a special request from one of your followers that I want to discuss that case with you so that you can give them some advice.
Yeah. So executive protection, as private investigator, we have a license, which we are allowed to, we are allowed to do executive protection with bodyguard work, okay? Plain clothes, arm or an, okay? But most of the time it's arm protection, executive protection. And we have driver as well, okay? They are trained driver, arm trained driver, and we provide executive protection. We can provide executive protection with the armored vehicle as well, okay? And this, it's part of the package and the deal that we offer with the organic protection, say organic security. So CEO, and we have a very clear example that happened with CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, unfortunately, was unalive from this gentleman, Mangione.
Is it already a fact?
I don't know. They're still investigating. He's still in trial. I mean, there's a lot of evidence that they believe it's him. Okay, I can't say it's him because everybody is innocent until he's proven guilty. Okay, so he's still in the middle of the crime. But this this case, this incident will not, or maybe or not, but if the CEO will have a team of executive protection around him, he may be alive today. Okay, and that, I think, is a huge mistake. And I just don't understand the negligence of such a large company who's making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of profit a year. They don't have a security to protect their CEO. I mean,
It goes back to the beginning of the conversation. You said that somebody in the management team should be aware of the safety of these C-level executives,
of course,
but this was an oversight for sure.
completely. When you can see the video of this CEO was early morning. He was by himself. So he was going to a specific like investor meeting, which is was plain, like it was something already decided months in advance. So, you know, he was a perfect target, unfortunately, and it's sad because doesn't matter what the company is doing, but their employees are, you know, a target, and you
Es-
have to be able to protect them.
Espionage and attack to a brand not only is directly targeted to the brand and the company per se. It could start with a CEO or a C-level executive, somebody who holds important information about that
Of
corporation.
course, most of the time, the CEO is the number one target. Okay, so we have to protect them physically. We have to protect them, their family as well. We have to protect their houses, make sure that they are safe. Okay, make sure there is no listening device inside the house too. I mean, counter espionage and corporate espionage, it's everywhere. It could be very close. It could be a friend of you. Okay, I'm not telling you gotta be paranoid and everything, but when you reach a certain level, okay, you're creating enemies. So you have to watch. And like I say, we'll never be safe than sorry.
Well, as you know, I keep things at a very basic language because there is a lot of terms and complexity that I'm simplifying here from the expert. Uh, One thing that there is a case, there is somebody who really come and ask for help, and it's not an executive, but this happened in a lot of corporations. There is bullying happening in corporations. There is this guy who writes and say that he's been in charge of a sales team, and there is one particular person who is making his life very difficult inside the corporation. He is being bullied by this gentleman who goes and uh, say words about him, about his wife, about his life when he doesn't get paid. Okay. He's basically ridiculized on meetings and make fun of, you know,
This is harassment, but that can be many form. I mean, it can be like a joke. They make joke of him. They're making a sexual joke, sexual, argument. It can be, look, I'm going to give you a real case here right there. And it's, it's a group of two doctors. Okay. They were, the boss of the emergency department of a specific hospital, which I'm not going to name the hospital. And mostly staff were like a nurse, okay, or technicians for X-ray or anesthesia or anything. A lot of women were harassed and you know subject to sexual harassment, and they were openly tell them, they say, if you don't do it, you're not going to be promoted. And they were like intern, okay. So they were waiting to be, this director of the establishment of the men doctors were giving them a report of their work, and if moving them to different promotion, and it was very important for them. So they were obviously openly offering sex compensation against their promotion, and it came to physical as well. Some nurses were running, leaving the place. They were scared to go to work, to be in the same room with that doctor, and they were constantly telling them sexual joke, very embarrassing them, things like that. And obviously, nobody was talking about it for years because they were scared to lose their job, or it was their future. That was the key for them to become a doctor or a surgeon later on. So if they were not going through the process, there will be consequences. And then after I don't know how many years, some nurses and doctors and women start to complain. And so one start to make a complaint, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, they find out that like 5, 6 women were harassed sexually. And there's a big lawsuit. It's happening. It's happening every day. Unfortunately, woman, you have teachers. Look, those teachers, there's women teachers, they're having sex with a 14 years old, okay? And it's a crime, and they get indicted. And how many has been arrested already? A lot, okay? It has to be also, it doesn't be only women against boys, it's also men against girls, you know? And it's everywhere. And it's bully. They take advantage of the situation to get something out of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like this is a joke. This guy needs your help. Okay, his job is in the line. He is desperate. He has actually brought the whole situation to HR. HR is not doing anything, and he's thinking of quitting his job, a job that he enjoys, that he's good at it, and because the company's not doing anything about it. And so what Victor Elbeze...
Well, this is not corporate investigation. This is different sign, okay? That's not going to help the corporation, actually.
Correct.
This is something personal. So that's an investigation that we can help individual people to being harassed or things like that.
Okay. So there is help.
There always rare. When something wrong happened, there's always another way to make it right. Okay.
Okay. So for you who actually reach out, you don't need to quit. You can reach out to private investigator. You can reach Victor Elbeze and talk about your options.
Yeah, of course. There is a lot of stuff. So, sometimes those threats, they are made in writing. Okay. So that can be used in court as well. Okay. So sometimes those threats has been people touch other, so maybe it's on the camera system. So we can recover the videos and look for the proof. Okay. So there's so many things that can be done. Okay. But one more time, this is different. This is not, these things happen inside a corporate.
Correct.
Okay. And that's also can help the owner of the company, because the owner of the company maybe doesn't know that somebody is doing that to one of his employees. Right. So I think it's a liability. I think it's good to know, to make sure that everybody is behaving the right way. Okay. And for that, again, you can educate people, having them certain class court to make sure that they don't go over the edge on this purpose.
Kudos to you, if you're listening, that you are de-escalating the situation, that you are looking for options, and that you reach out. We're here to help you, and we are here to help everybody in this community. As we said at the very beginning, corporate investigation sounds like it's a huge subject. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a number of episodes that we are going to take a particular subject and develop it for you.
Especially, we want to hear from you. Like, for example, you leave a message on the YouTube channels, okay, and saying like what subject will be interest you the most, okay, like employee screening, employee fraud, company vehicle asset monitoring, all those things, restaurant investigation, club and restaurant, retail, work comps, all those things that you want us to go a little deeper and give you a lot of examples, because we did a lot of investigation for all the subject that we are developing right now. I had done maybe 20, 30 cases on each, and even more. So we can give you story, we can give you example. It's very important. But most important, we can give you a solution.
Correct.
To do not, to be proactive, to do not go through a crisis management.
To wait for the crisis management.
It's too late. You lost money. They took money from you. okay? And this is bad. So we can be proactive, and it's important to take action before that those things happen.
This is real, and this is actually made for you, and you are going to be the one who is going to take this to the next level. It's because we are going to answer your questions, and we're going to help you solve the crisis before it happens.
Yes, and also I want to tell you that if you subscribe and like our podcast and episode, please reach out to us, and we can definitely offer you a free background check on anybody of your choice. Okay?
All the links are below. Guys, this is a pleasure to be with you. And again, thanks for the opportunity to let me tap into your mind and get insights about what is happening out there, because it's huge.
Uncover the truth.
Uncovering the truth with Victor Elbeze.
Thank you.
Until next, see you next time.
Exactly.